Okay, check, check. All right. Mic's good, music's good. So, we're gonna ink some manga pages, manga pages. Whatever way you want to say it. Let me shrink my head a little bit. All right. Okay. Got my glove on. Warming up my hands. Started a little bit during lunch today. Tonight we'll be drinking some Bellhaven Black. A nice, smooth Scottish stout. Let's go ahead and get that open. Oh. A little bit of ASMR. So, this is a panel sequence from my manga. It's part of a page. It's all digital, so I'm slicing up the panels and doing them in threes or so, then reassembling them in bits. And I'm done with this part of the page, so I figured I'd ink it. Anyway, so right now we've got a whiteout layer. We've got our inks layer. We've got our pencil layer down there. We got our panel borders or whatever. So let's go ahead and get our studio pen / quill, and let's get in there. Okay. See, the level's okay. Music too loud? Might be a little too loud. Let's take it down just a her. All right. And I tend to draw like I ink. I almost don't need to ink my stuff, which is my man Vinny pointed out I think yesterday. He's like, why don't you just draw with your pen instead of a pencil brush and then ink it afterward? I go, because I'm dumb. I don't know. I like having a sketchy version of it. One that's, there's still some sketchiness here. Like here. You know what I mean? Like right in here. Still some sketch lines in there. I like having that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm weird. I'm definitely weird. I just love this 80s style. Classic Robotech and Macross. Dirty Pair. Bubblegum Crisis. Even like Ninja Scroll as well. I'm literally picking what trajectory I want the lines to go in this stage. Got a little thick right there at the end, but that's okay. We'll do a line drop or a color drop. Bloop. And our goal in this session is to get this whole 3-panel sequence finished. Since it's my own work, there's no guesswork. I kind of already know what I want to happen here, so I'm not improvising at all. Sometimes we go thick with the line, sometimes we go thin, sometimes we go thick to thin. Sometimes we figure it out as we go. That's the thing I love about inks, is it's so many people wrongfully call it tracing, where it's really not. I mean, right now it's hard to make an argument that I'm not, but like you change subtleties, you add line weight. I mean, I've already done that with my pencils. I've already added a fair amount of line weight during the penciling process. But when you're inking, typically anything else, inker's going to be looking for places to add line weight, add definition. Help describe the forms. Because your job as an inker is to communicate light and shadow, distance, proximity, and volume with solid lines. Cross hatching, stippling, dry brush. Many different manners of mark making with only a binary color source, off or on, white or black. You can make ink washes for which you would have gray, but typical line art, you don't do that. It's for comic art particularly. I think I'm going to break that a little bit. Point that at like that and have like a little line break. Make it more interesting. Little flag on the end here. Do that. And get a fill. I think I'll leave that line broken. Kind of interesting. It'll close up as you get further away from it. I tend to use a lot of elbow. Use very little finger, mostly elbow and wrist. The ability to stabilize your line is greatly increased the larger the appendages can control the thing making the mark. And for those, just point of fact here, there's no stabilization on this at all. Every mark made is me. 100% me. So right now we're doing a cape. I think we're gonna thicken that line up just a little bit. We had a little bit more space between that ruffled edge and this line. Because we're going to marry them together back here. Let's smooth that out just a touch. And this line needs to be thicker because two reasons. One, it's the underside of something, so it's casting a shadow. So we want to define that with a line, with a thicker line. Plus it's also a holding line for a shape, for an actual physical volume in the cape itself. So it should have a slightly thicker line on its holding line, as on its exterior line. So this is a little thin. Yo, what's up, Ace? How you doing, bud? Just doing a little bit of anking some panels, you know, as I do. So, form and volume, light and shadow, distance, proximity, all those things. And since this is going to be cell shaded, there's very little rendering. Very, very, very little rendering. Just enough rendering to get the point across. Doing most of the heavy lifting with literally just line weight, because it's going to be cell shaded. So the rendering is going to be applied with color rather than in the line art itself. Here we got a little bit of armor. His chest armor. His I guess you could call that a carapace or a tunic of some sort. I don't know. It's plate and samurai armor. All right, let's get some erasures here. Switch to our white layer. Get white. Get a blocking pen. And let's get rid of the underlines here. I think the holding line on his head can be a little thicker. Just a touch, though. Maybe some of the down slopes. A little down slope right there. We'll thicken that up. Give it a little thickness to this bump here. Leave that thin. Underside will make this a little thicker. We need to make that. No, it's too thick. There we go. Down slope thickness. Boom. Underside. Make that a little thicker. All right. Thicken that up just a touch. So again, we're trying to convey volume. And that this is it's the head of a figure, so it should have a little bit of weight to it. So that way when you zoom out, the form still reads. Very important that it reads from a distance. Because I mean, when we go to scale, the width of a comic book page is about like that. So if I think even this needs to be a little thicker. Just a touch though. There. Now it reads pretty well at a distance. Okay. Boom. Get that tricep in there. Get a little too stylized with the line. I still need it to be relatively dead to maintain the style, because the stylistic characteristic of 80s anime is just a dead fucking line. The line has no weight to it at all. So I'm adding a little bit of weight in certain places, but I'm trying to, it really is hard for me to not add line weight. Because I've been heavily studying that time period. I'm trying to capture the aesthetic of 80s anime. And every little detail I can garner to weave into the art to make it feel like something, what's the word? Vestigial. Something that has a legacy behind it. Something that doesn't look, it's got a dated look to it. I want that feel. Oof. Nah, no wubs. No wubs up in this place. Yikes. Big freaking yikes. So sometimes we break up lines, just tap, little tap here and there just to cut the lines up. This is another one of those volumes. This is the hard edge, so it should be thicker. And then as it marries itself to this top edge, it gets thin, and then the line takes over thickness here. So we're defining the rim of this gauntlet. I guess it's not really a gauntlet, it's more of a bracer. A wrist guard. Okay, getting somewhere. I need to set up my other camera so have it pointed at my tablet so you can see my hand working. I built a new PC. And I don't have all the pieces in place yet. One of them being my multicam setup. So I used to have an overhead cam and a camera right there for tablet. Just haven't plugged them all in yet. I don't really have a lot of USB. I think I'm gonna go buy a USB card, another USB 3.0, and install it. Kind of used up all my like native outlets, and I don't like using too many hubs. I've got one hub right now, and one KVM, which essentially is another hub. It puts a lot of draw on one of the USB circuits, and all the other devices end up suffering power-wise. So we're gonna add a little swoop downward right there. And break the line a little bit. It's a little too much of a break. Add some little bit of delicateness to it. Boom. And these are like plates that are overlapping each other. And we got a top of a hand. Thumb, finger joint, another finger joint, that's the top of a knee right there, pretty sure. And it's closer to the camera, so it should have a little thicker volume of a line. Lumethium plate on the top of his knee. This, when activated, psionic energy flows into the lumethium plate, creating a 0-point field to it directly in front of it, literally pushing gravity out of the way so that the Lumethian warrior can move faster, can jump higher, can literally kind of fall into the space that there is no, oh hello, that there is no gravity. And that's all done with their psionics. A little thicker line right here. This is going to be a thin interior line. I'm going to break and bloop and curve that like that. Oh, that's a big brush. Let's take that brush size down. There we go. Okay. Finish off the knee pad. This is satisfying to watch it all come together. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate you. It really is. I mean, for me as the one doing it, it really is too, you know. So I can appreciate observing it, what it feels like, but I've been working on working on these panels and these pages for, I'm only on page 4 and I've been working on for weeks and weeks. Part of it is I'm painting all the backgrounds and I'm, you know, I didn't do character sketches to start with, so in the midst of trying to lay panels out and pages out, I'm like still designing characters. So that slows the process down quite a lot when you don't have the costume of your characters solidified yet, and you're literally you're laying out pages and you're like making changes to the costume, and then you got to change every page that character appeared on. I don't think I like that bloop there. Maybe I'll just leave it as a simple break. That's fine. So I'm creating problems for myself doing it this way, but I just wanted to get going so badly that I just said, screw it, I'm gonna go. Then I ended up, you know, creating issues. But, you know, it's part of the process. I'm learning as I go. Hey Scotsman, I'm in your chat, even though you never make it over to mine, Robot Inker. Listen, bro. I don't know why I don't get notifications when you're live, Skipper. I don't know why. I'll have to make sure I ring that bell. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't ring that bell. So, but appreciate you for being there. Super clean. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. It's simple because you aren't subbed. What? Shut up. I'll deal with that later. Fuck. Feeling attacked. Feeling majorly attacked right now. Can you believe this shit, Frankie? He called me a robot inker. God damn it. I've literally paid my dues, man. Not a robot inker. Listen, Skipper. Let me ask you this. Could a robot ink with 0 stabilization on their pen? 0? I think not, sir. I think not. I've adjusted this pen to be as wild and free-form flowing as much as a real pen could be. Taken off all the stabilization. I've made it bleed and you know, change dynamics and shape, like just like when you're pressing down the tines of a quill, opening up. It's taken me a while to get this pen tuned to where it is, and now that it is there, I like the results. And see, right here, this I would use a circle template and a micron. I'd go like this, boop, and I would get that. But now, because I don't need to use a micron, thick at the bottom, boop. This needs to be thicker at the bottom. Aren't all bottoms supposed to be thicker? It's Scotsman TV, not Botsman TV. That's right. Yeah, the way that black ball just filled your spot blacks with super lifelike. Listen. That's just jealousy talking is what that is. That's all jealousy. I'm never more than a few feet away from a crow quill and a brush. Scotsman sleeps with the fishes. Scotsman sleeps with the fishes. Let's take him to the Hudson in some new shoes. Damn, son. Yikes. some rough words there, Skip. But I understand. It's jealousy. It's cool though. I don't mind. You know. You're like, I gotta ink traditionally to make this look. I can't figure out how to make digital work like that. I know. I've heard it before. We're going to do a French curve right here. Here we go. French curve. Watch the hate flow. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the hate flowing. Give me your hatred. Thin on the top, thick on the bottom, back to thin on the top. Let it roll. That French curve smells like cigarettes and Bordeaux. Yes, let the hatred flow through you. Your rage has made you powerful, Skip Edwards. Truth be told, I don't even really need to correct much of my lines. I'm pretty much nailing them. I'm just fine-tuning them just a tiny bit. Yeah, look at their little symbol there. Boom. This is a U. Stands for Klein Urai. This negative space here with this pyramid is a W. Stands for warrior. This cutout right here is one of their suns of the binary star system. There's the other cutout for the other sun, and this right here is planet Lumethium rising. This is a belt. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Let's gonna broaden out that just a touch. We'll round that just a bit. I think I want to actually widen this little gap here. We'll straighten out this side. Ooh, hatred. Look at that. You could never do that. Never do that traditionally. Oh. Oh, it's like nibble pinching. Oh, fix it. Oh. Bellhaven Black for you, Skip. Got a little rambunctious with that sip. Widen the gap. Look at those nice gams. Oh, hello. So we're going to go thicker. Is that digital beer? Yeah, on my stream deck. Do I still have anything on my stream deck? Wait, let me see. No.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, it works.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. Scotsman, what is your profession? Mm-hmm. That's right. I remember that COD clip. Okay. All right, I'm gonna ink a face. I want to ink a face. To make the line thicker, is it done with more pressure on the pen? Yeah. See, the pen itself, it has like thousands of points of sensitivity, both vertically, angle wise, as well as laying it down. It changes the dynamics of the, like if you're using a pencil and as you tilt, like for instance, if I go to my drawing pencil, literally called fat pencil, as you, where is it at? As you tilt, you can change the direction and the thickness of the line based on angle. So when you lean the pencil over, it makes a thicker line. When you stand it up taller, it makes a thinner line. When you press harder and lighter and harder and lighter and harder, it does dynamics. Use your face inking ruler and snap to realistic. Face inking ruler. The salt is real. My man Skip got salt. Salty. Salty Skippy. Boom. Boom, bap. Do that. Oh, color drop. Oh, Skip hates it. Did you say that? He fucking hates it. Bloop. Drag a line. We're going to do this. We're going to pull a line. We're going to thicken it out at the end. We're going to do a little dash here. Boop. And we're going to give that a little flag. Like this. We're going to go like that. Boom. We're going to break that line. Make it thin. Give it a little thickness. I'm going to make this line thinner here. We're going to swoop it around, make it thick. Rather than just have it be a big old thing right there. Bloop. Another bloop. Richard Friend taught me how to ink. It's cool, man. My lineage comes from you know, Art Bear, Danny Mickey, Marla Alkiza, Jonathan Sabal. You know, 90s image style. That's where my inking pedigree comes from. So no hate on Richard Friend, man. Not at all. To be perfectly honest, I just spoke with Marlo the other day, and when he's back around, because he's doing all kinds of stuff, we're going to meet up, and I'm going to teach him how to digitally ink on his iPad. He's been asking me. He's like, dude, I need you to show me. Because he doesn't have the room to set up a traditional desk anymore because of his situation. And I talked to him about him working with Frege. Pretty cool. So he's inking his black flag? No, he's inking those traditionally. But he's not working on black flag. He's working on like an ash can. Yeah, he told me Dan hired him to do some pages from an ash can. Not black flag. Yeah, the supplemental. Yeah, there you go. I'm the one that told you. Yeah, I know. I know you. I know you are. I don't forget much, Mr. Edwards. You said I was full of digital inks. Oh, is that your way of saying digital inks are shit? Do I know of Tim Townsend? Tim Townsend is in my pantheon. Yes, he is one of my favorite inkers. Vinny said he knows Tim. I never got to meet Tim Townsend. It's one of the things that was a regret of mine. I went to college with Jonathan Sabal's little brother. Met Jonathan Sabal once. Hung out with Marlo like for fucking almost a decade. Met Danny Mickey a number of times. Cool cat. Met him too. He's a cool cat. Yeah. Why does Danny Mickey have no social media presence? Why does he hate the digital age? I don't know, dude. Danny is a bit of a... He's a strange dude. Like, he's like, I don't know. So he's a absolutely total Bernie Wrightson, like, devotee. Like some people are really big into Frazetta. Like Danny Mickey was like a Bernie Wrightson nutcase. And he synthesized and amalgamated a lot of Bernie's techniques into the way he inked Spawn. His use of, lines like rapid succession lines. So you can see the influence in early Spawn when Danny took over. Like the shit he was doing to those pages was like mind-blowing. But like, I don't know, dude. Like he always struck me as just just your average surfer dude kind of guy, like skateboarding, like just a 90s guy. But super cool. Gotta get some Zen focus for those hairs, because I'm not French curving them. I'm doing them manually, so the way Skip doesn't fucking give me the business. Oh, French curving, another thing, huh? Don't need the business from Mr. Edwards. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that for free. Still have my Tony Alva skateboard. Yeah, my skateboard is in the other side of my studio, and I have one in my truck at all times. I can tell you the last time I skated, but I always have one. I feel naked if I don't have a skateboard with me. It's really weird. Shark tail. Oh, the hammerhead. Oh, no, the hammerhead was Christian Hosoi. Yeah, Christian Hosoi. Yeah. No, I just have a blank. I used to love seeing all the art graphics on the decks. Oh, yeah, dude, skateboard graphics. Always loved it. I don't know. I stopped buying like branded skateboards a long time ago. Because I'm like, why am I paying so much extra money for these guys' names? I figured that out at a young age. And plus I had a hookup for blank decks. Literally, they're just routed routed in with grip tape on them. Clint shows up on my stream wearing a chocolate skateboards. Nice. I have a feeling, Skip, honestly, if like you and I went to high school together, we would have been fucking best friends, dude. I really believe that. The amount of ball breaking and similar interests and shit would have been. You would have given me shit about being a weeb, but we still would have loved comics the same. My brother's a weeb. I only hate on weebery because me and my bro can't like the same stuff as a rule of childhood. Right. Right. I feel you, man. Shit. Yeah, if you guys like the same shit, it would have been critical mass. You can't have that. Plus, you'd been fighting over your toys and shit more than brothers already do. Ugh. Fill that with black. There we go. There was one anime I thought was cool. He brought the toy home and I was done with that show. Ronin Warriors. Oh, okay. Ronin Warrior. So you gotta watch Ninja Scroll, man. Ninja Scroll will change your life. Make a proper weeb out of you. So fucking violent, so dark, so weird. Kibagami Jube. Just like I tell my son, some people like weebin, but guys like us, we like women, son. Stung a little bit, not gonna lie. My cousin turned me on to Fist of the North Star. Fuck yeah, man. Waimo shinderu. You know what that means? It means you don't know it, but you're already dead. Because he would do his... fucking hit you like 1,000 times and pop all your sensory systems and destroy your nervous system, and your body would just fucking explode. I was in Italy in the time, so I got the Italian dialogue version. Oh shit. Owaimo shinderu. His technique isn't this. It's he hits with the back of his hand. You know, we really wanted to make it, feel right, fit in. Let's see, how do we want to handle this eyebrow? We're going to do a bloop to a thin line. We're going to do one of these. We're going to do that. Boom, like that. Then we're going to boom, do that. Instead of Kenshiro, it's Vinshiro. That's right. We're gonna do some breaks here. Boom, do that. Thin line, add a little flag at the end there. Little reverse bloop, bloop. That. One of these. Let's get this going here. I think I'm going to clean that line up a little bit. I'm going to split that line there. Leave that married to that. Boom, little dip. Little dip. Connect that. Come in like this. Boom. Duct. And now we're going to do this little swoop. And like give like a little wide berth there for that highlight. And then we'll fill. Boom. Close that little gap up. We'll leave that empty. We'll fill that in. All right, let's put some white paint here. That's how we erase digitally. Go like this. Ooh. Forgot to lift. You gotta lift your pen. The way you undo, you don't have to fucking do it all over again. Lift your pen frequently digitally. That's the lesson. Mm-hmm. Make this thick right there. Always trying to make lines look more interesting. How can we make these thicknesses vary them in such a way to make it look interesting? Like we'll come off of this thin, we'll thicken it up at the bottom. Like that. And then this, we're literally just going to fill with succession of thin to thick. That's called the Verizon line on the ear. Can you hear me now? That's right. Can you hear me now? How you like me now? This has to be thicker. As much as I liked how thin that was. I kind of like that. We'll leave that. All right. Real thick to thin. Drag and drop fill. Boom. Come off the jawline, boom, like that. We're gonna swoop in. Back down for the chin. Oof. Detail the inside track of the sternocleidomastoid. It's one of my favorite muscles to say. This muscle here, the one that connects to your mandible and then connects right down to your clavicle. Sternocleidomastoid. Okay. Oh, you are full now. We're gonna fill you, baby. Boom. Yeah, look at that chiseled ass jawline. Heroic. Heroic AF, as the kids say. Stern colonal masteroid. That's pretty close. I'll allow it. All right, now we're gonna swoop down here where the cape kind of rounds out in front. Swoop, there it is. That was busted ass line from the very get-go. Bro, what happened to you? Don't know what you mean. There we go. Oh, hello. That isn't closed. I mistook the panel border as a closed line. And I done fooked up. What's wrong? How could I do that, dude? Seriously, I agree with you. Just bad. Just bad at everything. Bad at life. You just saw it come crashing down right in front of everybody. Digital ink spills are more forgiving. This is true. This is true. Definitely true. Scariest situation of my life was dumping an inkwell on a fucking Superman page. Thought my life was over. Beautiful Mike McCone pencils. Somehow that inkwell just came loose and just fucking dumped across the middle of it. I was like, holy shit. Marla was like, relax. Calm down. And I'm like, dude, I almost fainted. I swear to God, I almost fainted. I became whiter than I am, dude. Blood fell out of my head and I was just like, he's like, this is why we make photocopies of the pages before we start inking. Okay, it'll be fine. Editor's gonna be a little upset at all the whiteout on the page, but it'll be fine. So fuck, man. Whew. Yeah, it still gives me, it makes my heart palpitate thinking about it, dude. That was not a fucking great situation. I'll tell you that much. God. Yikes. Big fucking yikes. What's funny is like I have a really good memory, like photographic memory. I don't remember what that page looks like. Like I completely blocked that shit out of my mind. Partially as the fucking thing was covered in black, but you know, Marlo, you know, he redrew it. And like I painted over and like part of it, and he, let's just say he finished it. I was pretty distraught. I couldn't hold my hand was not steady after that, so it's like, he's like, don't worry about it. It's fucking bad. You shocked yourself not to remember, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where like almost like PTSD, where you just suppress a memory, you just push it down. You don't want to remember it. But I remember them. I remember the moment. I remember like what it felt like. I can't tell you what page it was. You'd think that would sear itself in your brain, but fuck. Bro, what are you doing? What am I doing? I am inking this page. Okay. And yeah, our line weights here thick to thin a little bit. This is a much closer up figure, so the holding line needs to be substantially thick. I got a Discord ping. Hold on a sec. All right. Stealing my content. Can't steal something that's gladly given away for free. Fucking hell. What do you think about Adam Hughes and his super thick lines? I think it's a cool style. I think there's so many different inkers and different inking styles that, you know, there's room for room for all. I mean, I like I like Weems and his really sharp, really fast looking lines. Marlo has a really fast style. Danny has a fucking crazy style. Scott Williams has a really like hatchy style. Matt Banning has another hatchy style. I mean, his style's derived from fucking having to ink Sylvester for so long, I think. Townsend, blips and bloops. RT Bear, blips and bloops. Scott Campbell, you know, same thing, blips and bloops. Sabal, similar. Wills, lot of really clean, long hatches. All the image inkers all had a little slightly different thing going on, but they could definitely emulate one another. But when they were doing their own thing, you could definitely tell them apart. I'm going to do a little downward swoop like that. Thin line. Going to go down, make this thicker actually. This will be thin here, thick. Then we'll swoop in with that. We'll thicken her up. We'll get super thick here. Boom. Like that. Because we're conveying folds of a cloak, so there's going to be a fair amount of light and shadow. Okay. I could see McFarlane being influenced by Terry Austin. True. Yeah. I mean, McFarlane had a whole other thing going on too. You know, I know I'm going to sound like sacrilegious to a lot of people, but I don't really like McFarlane's inks. I was never really a big fan of it. You know, I just didn't care for the style. Don't get me wrong, it was masterful in its own right, but it's just didn't appeal to me. Like, I love the way he drew Spawn. I love the way he drew Spider-Man. I didn't like when he inked himself. I don't know. There's a lot of pencilers I don't like when they ink themselves. God damn it. Shut up with that wub shit. Oof. Gonna be in trouble when my brother gets here. Oh yeah? Well, bring him on in. I'll buy him a beer. I wish my brother George was here. That panel is done. All right, let's erase it. Boom. I like Buscema, and I'll call it Inks. Their Conan stuff is amazing. Yeah, you know, John Buscema, his Wolverine is my favorite. The classic, iconic Marvel, you know, corner stamp Wolverine where he's hunched over. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. That is Wolverine. This Hugh Jackman shit, no. Sorry about that, man, but Hugh Jackman ain't Wolverine, never has been, never will be. And all of the fuckers who say, yeah, but look, he looks just like the comics. They started drawing him like Hugh Jackman. You dummies. Ooh, that's a busted ass line. Look at that. Oof, janky. He's supposed to be 5'3", not 6 foot chooch. That's right. Yeah, I mean, dude, James Howlett is like an Inuit, like Eskimo, runt from an Eskimo tribe. He's not some fucking massive dude. The little guy full of fury and heart to fight big odds. That's Wolverine. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That and throw me, bub. It's a meme, dude. Colossus chucking Wolverine. I hate the whole James Howlett thing too. His name is Logan. Yeah, you know, I see, the thing is, when you think about it, Wolverine's like a vampire, right? He's lived hundreds of years or whatever. He's seen many people come and go. He's picked up many names. You know, Patch was another one. Patch, Logan, James. You know, so like I saw a meme on not Facebook, where was it? Maybe it was on Twitter. It said, why is it that all vampires are like millionaires And then the answer to the meme was, bitch, if you've lived, since the 1600s and you ain't rich yet, you should just stick a stake in your own heart. Because it's true. Like, at some point you figure the game out. So which I thought was funny. Oy. Shit, I wish I was a vampire then, right? Actual Wolverines are cooler than Marvel Wolverine. I mean, the Wolverines are pretty badass. Like, legit, one of my favorite animals. Like, they are the epitome of no Fs. Closely related to the honey badger, I might add. Similar, I think same genus and everything. Let's see, so that is the actually, wait, what are we looking at here? So that is the buckle. This is the buckle right here. All right, let's throw a fill in there. Oh, son of a bitch. Is it on panel border? It is. Always forget that the panel borders are on a separate layer. Jeez. All right. Just bite people. It's easy. It's that easy, right? Well, I mean, you got to get bitten first, right? You don't become a vampire by biting people. You need the curse. And you need to not get killed by the vampire who chooses to bite you, too. Make this thick. Oof. No. Let's go this one. Royalty-free music, man. You get what you get. All right. Get that nice chiseled jawline. And again, we're going for a specific aesthetic. 80s anime. So I'm trying as hard as I can to keep the lines dead and not too thick to thin, but literally I fight every ounce of my being as an inker to not add varying line weights and bloops and stuff. I'll leave that empty. It's cool style though, I dig it. Thanks, man. It's literally my favorite style of anime from the 80s is the Macross Robotech style. It's just what I'm calling it. But it's kind of like a core fundamental style of the 80s. I am taking a few liberties of my own with it, doing a couple things here and there. But I'm trying to maintain as close to fidelity as I can to the style. So I want us graybeard weebs to read this book and go, man, this feels so familiar. I feel like my childhood living out right in front of me. People of the 80s, they see this, it takes them back, sparks of interest. I agree. I agree. The 80s was a very interesting decade, man. It was you know, a lot of patriotic pride in the 80s. You know, we were in a Cold War with Russia. We just came out of Joe Biden's first presidency. I mean Jimmy Carter. You know, so the country was in a state of regeneration. A lot of creativity was born in the 80s. A lot of cool electronics were born in the 80s. Crazy digital music, amazing sci-fi movies. Just, you know, the 80s took this pregnant, creative, like, baby and birthed it. You know? Because the latter part of the 70s was just absolute dog shit. You had the Vietnam War end, you had the fucking economy collapsing, you had fucking all kinds of shit going wrong. And then the 80s pops in and like everybody's like, and I'm living in a material world. Yeah. You're like, whoa, shit. This music is so perfect for right now. Feels like the intro music to like a Nintendo, an NES game. Eight-bit jazzy pop. Right. I find it strange that I like this music. It's kind of endearing, dude. I don't know what it is. It's like I popped in and like I just turned on a Nintendo and I just put it on the background. It's just the title screen playing over and over. This is an example of a line that needs to be a lot thicker. It's like a major holding line of the face. There we go. You just cleared a Nintendo game and the credits. Yeah. It's the credit screen scrolling in the background. It's all these Japanese names scrolling across the screen. Pixel art by Fuji Nakamoto. See that nice ease out too. Looks like it's gonna be some 80s digital trap. Yeah, the name of this playlist is actually called Arcade. No bullshit. It's a royalty-free playlist on Spotify. What is this? Oh, it's the... for the top of her head. And then I added in the line for his cloak down there. Is this song called Level 2? No, it's called Mime Dance. So let's see if I can bring this over. There we go. Here it is. I've got it on random. My capture software, it minimizes whenever I mouse over it. Well, it doesn't minimize, it just doesn't, it goes from full screen. Come on, damn it. Come on, dummy. Ooh, that's a busted ass looking line, isn't it? It's got some more life to it. And how long have I been going? Hour and 52 minutes. Almost at the 2-hour mark. Oh, I'm taking a sip of my beer. I got about that much left. Not good. Dude, Frankie, I'm going to be going to see, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to go see the Beatles Love performance at Cirque du Soleil. I saw it one time in the mid-2000s. Greatest show I've ever seen in my life. Like, I can't give it a higher endorsement. It was the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. And I hope it lives up to the second time around. Because I've seen Cirque du Soleil before. Never live. I saw it on HBO whenever they kind of... They put some of their performances on HBO back in like... I want to say like in the late 80s, early 90s. Because we did have cable. And I remember they used to creep me out because they wore those fucking face masks that made them look bizarre. Like they wore like prosthetic cheeks and chins and shit. And it was like, it just looked creepy. It used to really bother me as a kid. But like their acrobatics were incredible. And so I got the opportunity to go watch them when I was in Vegas one time. So I went and goddamn, it was so amazing. Like they open up the floor and like the stage becomes a like the stage is a trampoline underneath it, and like they're doing acrobatic shit, and like where there used to be a floor, and like I don't know, just like they open up like passageways in the side of the stadium, and like guys come down on wires right past you, like you're like holy shit. You know, the entirety of the arena is all part of the stage. The stands, everything. So you are right there amongst the action. So it was pretty incredible. I'm pretty excited about it. And typically, I don't like going to Vegas unless I'm going to play in a poker tournament or something. So I'm not really into giving my money to the house. You know, I'd rather take it off drunks at the poker table. That's my game. I just like the psychology of poker, the aggression, the mindset, you know. It allows me to use my powers for evil. Without being evil. Yeah, skill game over a game of chance. So yeah, totally. I mean, if I want to get drunk, I'll play like 000 on roulette or something, or I'll sit there and pump quarters into a slot machine at a really slow rate just so I can get a couple gin and tonics and, you know, maybe a Long Island or something. But, you know, if I'm gonna gamble, if I'm like down to like gamble, I'm gonna play craps. I'm definitely a craps player if I'm down to fucking just throw money away. Because I've made some serious money at craps. I mean, I turned a $20 buy-in. I put $20 on the pass line. Fucking rolled, the point was off, so the guy rolled a 7. I was like, okay. So I pressed, rolled an 11, pressed. And then he set 6 was the point number. Oh, okay. I didn't put any more money down. I just let it go. He rolled a 6, rolled the point number. I took my money off for a second. He threw like 3, crap. 12, crap. I'm like, I put my money back down on the pass line. I just put like another $20 on the pass line. He rolled a 5, so the point became 5. And he rolled like a 10, and he rolled like a 10, a 6, an 8, a 9, and then he rolled a 5. And I'm like, and I'd put odds, so like it just kept building. And I turned a $20 buy-in into like $2,000, like $2,500, $2,600. And I never I never fully lost everything. I hit some craps, but I didn't put all my chips down. I was taking them off. Every time a point number would hit, I would kind of reset. I'd take some troops out of play. And, you know, had a couple of craps, a couple of 7s, wiped the board on me, but it was a nice return. That is an astronomical return. Yeah, brother. Yeah, for real. That's like shit that never happens. I'll tell you what, though. Fucking Boxman comped me a room. He wanted his money back. I'm like, I'm already staying here. He's like, why don't I upgrade you to a suite? I'm like, okay. Have you eaten yet? I'm like, no, actually, I'm kind of hungry. He's like, here. He got his pad out of the drawer. Take that over to the buffet. Gave me a buffet, upgraded me to a suite. You know, when you put down $20 and you take, you know, $2,600 of their money, they want it back. They'll give you some food. They'll try to keep you there another night if they can. Because the odds are you're giving it back. I didn't, though. Because as a poker player, I'm really good at budgeting. Like I carve out a buy-in, and if I crash that buy-in, if I get cold decked or get a bunch of coolers, I stop. I've never been one of those guys who's like, I can win it back. Nah. Budget. If it goes south, you quit for the day. Come back at it tomorrow. Fresh $100. So but yeah, I haven't been to Vegas in quite a long time. I went there for a couple trade shows for work, but like I haven't been there to just chill for a long time. And I don't plan on like gambling. I don't want to throw any money away. Two pockets play with their monies. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Absolutely. time is it? We have crossed the 2-hour Rubicon. I think this is probably a good place to stop for the night. So, here's where we started. And not a huge change, but definitely inked and black lined and ready for color, you know. Happy with the result. I'm liking it. This moment right here makes me smile. Reminds me of me and my daughter. You know, kind of trying to establish how much he loves his family and all that, because, you know, it's a story, and stuff is stuff as stuff does is gonna go sideways in the story. So no spoilers, but like, yeah, I want you to get a feel for how much things mean to him. We got Akari here, his daughter. Trying to get that classic anime girl feel. It's funny. He's so serious all the time that when he sees that she's upset and he reaches out, he grabs her and he hugs her. It scares her. Like, she's like, it startles her. And she's just like, ah, she just hugs him back. Comes across on the panel without words. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, especially because literally he just gets done fucking, you know, I don't know, have you seen the so this is page 1. You know, I've put this out on Twitter as like a sample. So the narrator's basically talking about the home planet that they live on, Lumethia, where it is right here, and Earth is right there, about 3 light years apart. Doesn't seem that big because the Milky Way galaxy is like, I think 280 million light years across. So, you know, 3 light years isn't that far. So, so when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, Lumethia isn't that far from Earth. There's a binary star system. They got a blue sun and an orange sun. Enfe and Merkala, they're 2 suns. There they are rising on the Lumethian sunrise. And then it's raining in the morning. And, you know, the master, Shama, that guy, he's about to promote 4 of his students to become warriors in the Lumethian martial art. And he's going to give them swords. And Akari is running in the rain here. She's running to get to the studio. She's super excited because it's a day she's been looking forward to. She's worked her ass off to get here. She can't wait. She's going to get she's going to get her sword. And it's like a big moment in their culture, in their order. So she's running up, you know, splashing in the water. She gets to the front of the academy, which is a big pyramid. You know, and as she's approaching, she just can't help herself. She reaches out to her father telepathically. She's like, Father, is it time yet? And she's literally outside. And he hears that, and he's like, huh? She needs to learn a lesson because, you know, I don't know if you ever watched like Dragon Ball or anything like that. You know, if you use energy from your own body, it's finite, it runs out. You don't want to waste it on stupid shit. And so she's literally just wasting her energy on telepathy when she's literally right outside the door. So she goes down the stairs into the main hall. There's another master here. He's a green level Lumithian warrior. He's meditating. And then she comes up to her father after that. And he admonishes her. He says, "What have I told you about wasting energy? About flippantly using telepathy? You know, your energy is not without it. It's finite. It can run out, and if you use it when you don't need to, you won't have it when you need it." So he teaches her a valuable lesson as a warrior. And so she's getting the business from him. She's kind of sad here, and she's like, "I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. You know, I feel like I'm gonna burst." And he looks at her in the eyes, and he sees just like how anxious she is, and like, you know, she's sad because she didn't mean to do that, and like he can see that she's sorry. So he, you know, reaches out and grabs her and gives her a surprise hug that she wasn't expecting, because he's the master of their warrior academy, and nobody's there yet, so it's like kind of private. I mean, there are one other master there, and he gives her a hug, and so it's just that moment, just like, I know I'm a big fucking sappy I'm a big sappy softy, you know, try to pretend like I'm tough. This ginger has an actual soul. I've reaped enough of them to where it's now taking, I have kind of a soul. I have a heart. So anyway, but yeah, so that's early on. I established that, and I want everybody to feel that that bond between them. So but it's so anime. It's so like it's ridiculously anime. If you watch anime, you'll recognize that feeling right away. It's kind of a trope. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's predictable, but like, you know, that kind of moment where, you know, where the one character surprises another character and they end up laughing about it, you know. Total anime trope. Only this is, you know, he surprises her with a hug, and instead of laughing, she just kind of settles in and hugs him back. You know, her dad. So reminds me of me and my daughter. It's good. It shows the master isn't just a cold piece of steel in that scene. That's the point. I wanted to establish him as, you know, as a real feeling, loving character, but yet still, like, he goes from admonishing to loving, you know. Which, you know, you can have characters that are all business all the time, and that's cool. But like, to show a little bit of heart, I don't know. You kind of need that. I like to see a little bit of that. Kind of shit makes me happy. Because, like, you know, the relationship I have with my daughter is like, you know, I don't yell ever. But when my voice changes, when it gets deeper or slower, or I lean over a little bit, I turn my head a little bit, my daughter's lip starts quivering. I just have to change my tone, you know? And it's not like I spanked my kids growing up. I disciplined them. Yeah. You know, gave them a swat on the butt sometimes whenever they were bad. But like, I wouldn't consider that, spanking. And believe me, I'm not anti, like, giving a kid a kick in the ass if they need it. As long as it's within like control. Like, you're not out of control. Some parents, when they're spanking their kids, they're out of control a little bit. But like, neither one of my kids have ever had to get like seriously disciplined. And we have a pretty quiet house. Like, they don't fight. We don't really raise our voices. But I don't know. If I just literally give my daughter a look, like, she falls apart. She tries to keep it together too. Now that she's gonna be 17 this year, and now she tries to keep it together, but like the other day she was kind of dawdling around, and like, my son was gonna take them to school. He was gonna drive them to school, and like, she's kind of taking her time and like just fucking milling around, and like, he's literally backpack on shoulder, ready, keys in hand, ready to walk out the door, and standing in the foyer of my house, and like, my daughter's up in her room, like, just doing whatever, getting her shit stuff, and I'm like, hey, you gotta go. And she's like, I know. And I'm standing on the stairs in mid-flight, like, because we got not two flights, but like one with a bend and then like a platform and then another. And like, I'm standing on the platform, and like, I'm like, you gotta go. You're gonna make your brother late. And she's like, I know. And then I barked real quick. Hey, get your ass down here. And like, she came down like within 30 seconds, not even that, maybe 15 seconds after that. And like, she couldn't look me in the eye. like all I did was quickly just dad voiced it. I didn't like yell or like, do anything. I just literally just threw out a sharp little bark. And like, she walked down the stairs and wouldn't look me in the eye, and like as she was passing me by, I reached out and I'd like gave her a bro hug, like, have a good day at school. So we'll see how that shapes up. I'm gonna put a thick line right here. Part of the wrap? It is part of the wrap. Okay. Oh, and just so you get an idea of what the color scheme looks like, color scheme looks like this. Where's he at? Here he is. So I was trying to bridge the gap between modern sci-fi and classic lived-in, rusty, beat-up technology, kind of like Star Wars is, where everything's scraped up and scuffed and stuff. So he's wearing like leather chest piece and like, metal gauntlets, or I guess those wrist guards, and then pauldrons with lumethium in them. And this is just flats. It's not rendered yet. So, when they project their energy into lumethium, it glows and it looks almost liquid because it's vibrating so fast. Similar to a lightsaber. Looks like a lightsaber, but it's only... It still retains the shape and the look of a katana, but it just like looks wet and like light and vibrating. That's the look I'm going for. And then these pieces of lumethium on their various places in their costume. you know, they light up as well whenever they focus on them. They glow faintly while they're in combat, but like when they focus on it, it glows brightly and it like pushes gravity out of the way. So, but yeah, so that's what he looks like when he's fully colored. But again, it's just flats, no rendering yet. I need to render. Wow. What, I'm only about 30% done? Shit. Definitely not fast. What time is it? 12:18. All right, we'll go 2 hours and 30 minutes, so another 12 minutes or so. See how much we can figure. We'll try to finish this figure. We'll kick it into high gear. I think that needs a secondary line there because it is a thick. Looks great in the swords and those colors. Thanks, man. Yeah, and see, the way the power structure works is it's based on Roy G. Biv, right? They live on a planet. Your book is going to be awesome. Look at the art. Thank you, Felix. Felix Haas, brother. Appreciate the link master, man. Thanks, my guy. I know you've seen a lot of books, so it's a high endorsement. You and Frankie, you good people. So the power structure is based off the rainbow, this light spectrum. Roy G. Biv, right? So as you progress through the knowledge base of their martial art, the color of your lumethium changes. And so as you gain strength and knowledge in their martial art system, your aura and your lumethium that's bound to your soul, like you bind yourself to your soul, similar to like how the samurai believe that their soul resides in their blade. For lumethium, or for the Lumethian warrior, it actually is true. So Shama is a violet level Lumethian warrior. That's the top, Roy G. Biv, V, violet. It's the top of the power structure. Akari, his daughter, this girl, she's going to be a crimson red level 1 warrior. But when you first do the binding ritual, when you receive your first sword, you enter the learning level, which is white, like faint and flickery white light. It's unfocused, has no actual power. It's just the beginnings of learning. Looks stunning, bro. Thanks, Uncommon Sense. Hey, man, how you doing? It's good to see you. Trying to capture that classic weeb energy, my guy. Want it to feel like that old school 80s stuff. Well, people coming in here, I can't just finish. All right, I'll keep going. Give him a proper sack here. He's the progenitor of many warriors all throughout time, so he's gonna have the proper goods in order to make that happen. Older anime is the best. Yeah, for real. No, I completely agree with you. My favorite time in all of anime is the 80s. Like for instance, like a lot of people don't realize this, but Thundercats is Japanese animation. Is there a better intro to a cartoon than the Thundercats intro? I defy you to tell me one that's better. Feel the magic, hear the roar, Thundercats are loose. Wow. I like how that cartoon growl in the background. Wow. That it's almost like a puma or a cougar. And it was the tits too. Yeah, love Thundercats. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Had cool enemies. Mum-Ra. The mutants. So good. A jackal. Always trying to catch Lion-O and take the Sword of Omens from him. But somehow, he always thwarted them. But that's what this story is based on. Like, the writing in this story is, I amalgamated, and that's a big word, by the way. I kind of distilled and tried to encapsulate all of the cool shit from the 80s and early 90s into this story. You know, like, the Lumithian sword. It's similar to a lightsaber. Whenever only it's driven by the warrior's energy. The Lumithian warrior binds their soul to the Lumithium. It starts out as carbon steel, and once they bind themselves to it, it transmutes into Lumithium, and it binds itself to the soul of that warrior. And then they're able to use it as a conduit for their energy within their body. And they're an advanced society that's been able to develop telepathy and the ability to control the energy that their body produces and manifest it as light. And so when they bind to carbon steel and transmute it into Lumithium, it becomes a very powerful elemental metal that vibrates and resonates at an extremely high rate. So it can cut through virtually any other metal. And they're very powerful in that. And so the main villain in the story is a draconic race of demons, right? Demon dragons called the Oni-Ryu. And basically a millennia ago, 3 demon brothers were cast out of hell. And because they challenged the devil for supremacy, and he just booted them out of hell. And these demons, when demons basically, when they project themselves out of the nether, they take on an avatar, but their actual demonic form never leaves the nether. They pilot an avatar of something similar to themselves. So if you kill that avatar, you don't actually kill the demon. You have to kill the demon in the nether. Well, they got kicked out of hell, out of the nether, into the corporal world. And so they had to go on basically a limitless search for souls in order to keep their demonic powers. Otherwise, they would fade and expire and die. So they traveled to Cosmos, these 3 brothers, consuming souls of races of creatures. And in order to, stay demons, otherwise they would expire and die. So after an extremely long amount of time of doing that, they became tired, and they wanted to kind of they wanted to figure out how they could establish themselves somewhere and stop having to travel the entire cosmos looking for life to destroy. And they happened across this race of draconic, they're basically dragons. And these dragons were very powerful creatures. And, they were slightly magical, very powerful. And so they talked amongst themselves and said, let's bind with this race, and we'll form a race of creature that's so powerful that we will regain our greatness that we had while we were in the nether. So they basically dominated this race of dragon people, and took the females and created like Nephilim almost, created this hybrid demon dragon race. And, eventually these three demon brothers, they passed on. They disappeared. But now this race of draconic people, they discovered they have demonic powers, but in order to maintain those powers, they have to consume energy, the souls of other entities. So they too left their home world, traveled the cosmos in search of souls. Well, they discovered this race of people called the Lumethians. And the Lumethians have mastered the ability to generate energy from their bodies and manifest it as light and resonance, telepathy, not telekinesis, but basically all the things in between. And they're like, these people are perfect. Now, the thing is, they don't want to kill them. They want to enslave them. They want to capture them and put them in energy pods and basically harvest their energy. So they don't look at them as people. They look at them as livestock. So they don't regard them in any way. They don't hate them. They don't want them dead. They want to basically enslave their entire race. And because of that, if a Lumethian ever gets ambushed by an Oniryu detachment of warriors, I guess you could say, they can never go home again, because their goal. So it's almost like Gargamel and the Smurfs. So I worked that kind of idea in. Gargamel wanted to find the Smurf village because he wanted to consume the Smurfs to become a more powerful sorcerer. So they would lead him on a wild goose chase and make him lose their trail so that he would never find the Smurf village. A similar idea to that. So basically they can never go home again if they get a run-in with the Oniryu, unless they're able to lose them. So it's very difficult to do that. So there's only been a handful of times that's been able to happen. And one of them, in fact, was a battle that the main character in this story had with is essentially the main villain in the story that we'll meet later on. And so Shama, this guy, he ends up having to flee and go to Earth. And that's where he meets, he lives the rest of his days on Earth, and that's how Hero is created 1,000 years later. But in this story, the Chronicle of Shama, this basically explains the Lumethian culture and what happened to Shama and how he got to Earth. So the samurai lore that in Japan, because Japan's a different place than anywhere on the planet. Like the beliefs, the dedication to mastery, the not just the religious part of it, but the Zen focus on mundane details. It's unlike anywhere else on the planet. Well, the idea that the samurai had in Bushido, that their soul binds to their blade, it becomes a part of them. I'm saying that's an alien origin that came from this guy. So he taught the samurai that idea, only he could do it for real, but they didn't know that. He didn't teach them that he can do it for real. It was more of a religious thing for humans. But anyway, so I built in a lot of story beats and bits from things you'll recognize. Like I said, like Star Wars, Robotech, actual samurai lore and culture, all kinds of cool things. Thundercats. Jaga comes back and is Lion-O's kind of Force Ghost advisor. Well, something like that happens in the story too. So I'm trying to till the ground of fertile known quantities and make something completely new with that recipe. That way, you'll read the story and you'll immediately recognize where things came from, and hopefully be endeared by, how they feel and how they're repackaged in a way where they're totally unique and of themselves, but familiar enough to where it'll make you smile because of the nostalgic, you know, the references. So I've been writing this story for a couple of years now, and I don't know. The people I've read it to give me a couple different responses. Number one, the most common response is, dude, this is like a movie and I can see it in my head because I voice act it when I read them the script. To, dude, what the fuck? Why don't I have this yet? You know, they're mad at me because they don't have it yet. What the hell? I'm using the wrong pen. I can't wait to get this. I can't wait to read it for real. So, you know, legit weebs giving me good feedback makes me happy. Makes me really feel that it could be something special. And you feeling that second one? Appreciate it. Yeah, just wait till you see some of the fights and some of the this lovely sweet moment between a father and a daughter sharing a hug is about the sweetest moment in the entire book. There are others, but it gets really dark and really bloody, and there's, let's just say, a lot of lizard people are gonna get it's gonna be a lot of green blood everywhere. But it's pretty intense. Like I wrote it in such a way where, you know, I wanted there to be stakes, dude. Like one of the most amazing things about manga and, you know, anime in general is the fact that characters, like, they're complex. They're not just these, you know, stupid throwaway characters, cookie cutter or whatever. Yeah, there are some predictability to certain recipes in anime storytelling, but you know, characters have these really deep, complex relationships with each other in Eastern storytelling. And you know, it's not all just about, you know, superpowers and flying around and fucking, you know, doing these things. It's, you know, these characters, like when I look at Robotech, one of my favorite series is, you know, of all time, Robotech and Macross. Roy Fokker, Skull Leader, dies. He gets killed. Spoilers. 30 years in the making, spoiler. But, like, you know, Rick Hunter becomes the Skull Leader because Roy dies. And I remember how fucked up I was after Roy got killed. I was like, man, because he was one of my favorite characters. You know, he was Rick's senpai, man. He taught him how to fly the Veritech. He, you know, because when Rick first got into a Veritech, he fucking crashed into some buildings. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. He's an ace fighter pilot, but, like, he didn't know how to fly a Veritech. And they got attacked by the Zentradi, like, right there on Macross Island. Very, like, booby trap. Very first episode of Robotech. And so Rick had to figure out how to join the fight. And Roy kind of helped him through that. And you know, when he died, that was really sad to me. Like, it really had an effect. So, you know, and I mean, I know there's the George R.R. Martin, you know, like, don't get too attached to characters because they could die. Yeah. Well, got it, George. You know, I understand that thinking. I understand it. Because it makes it mean more. Sacrifices mean more. And, you know, so much so that, you know, one of my characters is going to be modeled after Roy Fokker. I'm gonna basically use Roy's iconic haircut, you know, because he has those crazy bangs. So one of the characters, Riku's one of the students that's going to be promoted in this first opening scene. He's going to have Roy Foker's haircut. I get you. It felt so real when I watched it the first time. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, and the sadness that everybody felt around them. I mean, his girlfriend, you know, like she cried, and like, and Lisa Hayes, because Rick was in the hospital, you know, Lisa went to visit him, and she's like, you know, he's like, hey Lisa, what's up? You okay? And like, you look upset. And he's like, no, I'm not okay. Roy's dead. And he's like, what? Like that. And they did a little flashback scene. Like, fuck, man. It was rough. So the emotion was raw and real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. You definitely felt it. Which, I mean, I really respect that. Really respect it. Because it made Rick's character much more like, not believable. I don't mean believable is the wrong word. But like, he had a purpose. He was now carrying on the legacy of, you know, a deep family friend, one whom he called brother, you know, who flew for his father in their air show / acrobatic circus, air circus or whatever, you know, who went off to war, you know, and so he picked up his mantle and like, you know, carried on his legacy, and that was, you know, meant something. But I mean, in the original Macross, I mean, you know, Rick Hunter was Hikaru, you know, different character. And, you know, he was a hotshot pilot, and, you know, the backstory is a little different because, you know, Robotech is like a mashup of, you know, 3 different anime series, like Southern Cross, Megazone 23 or whatever, and like yeah, the Macross series, all those things mushed together to make Robotech. Blew my mind when I found that out. I had no idea growing up that was the case. Like I was like, wait, what? they made this out of like a bunch of different stories? Like, that's fucking crazy. How could you do that? They made it work somehow. Which I thought was amazing in and of itself. Harmony Gold, man. Mind-blowing. And this is an episode of Black and Brew. Tonight's brew is very delicious Belhaven Black Scottish Stout. Gotta go. Sorry for being late, but I hope you are and stay well. Uncommon Sense, brother. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you stay safe over there in Kangaroo Land. And stay free, brother. Thanks for hanging out with me. We about to tapping out. Right on, brother. I'm gonna be cutting it off too. I just couldn't bail on Uncommon Sense and Felix Haas, man. They came in to say what's up, and I just couldn't just end it because I was literally about ready to. Not going to just walk out the door when these fine people show up. Give the people what they want, a little bit of me or whatever that means. Peace out. Thanks, Frankie. Be safe over there. Oh yeah, Tales from the Navverse. That's right. Correct. Yeah. I see this story being the next One Punch Man sensation. We're gonna make it into a full feature-length anime series with Madhouse Entertainment. That's my goal. Japan is my goal. I want these guys to see that and go, holy shit, this needs to be an anime. We want to give you lots of money to make it into an anime. License it to us, please. And I'll say, show me the zeros. And they'll show me some zeros. And I'll say, a few more zeros. And they'll say, okay, here's the number of zeros. And I'll say, cool, let's make it. I probably won't be that much of a dick. Honestly, you know, I just want to see it become something. I want everybody to experience it. You know. Yeah, thanks, Felix. I'm going to do some erasures here. Well, let me do this cape really quick. Long, sweeping straight line. Into a curve. Boom. Nice and steady hand. We're going to have little wrinkle, bump, wrinkle. One of those. Little flap of the cape there. We're going to make that a thicker line because it's an edge. Thicker line. We're going to cut it in. We're gonna actually thin this line. Oop, fuck. Didn't want that. We're gonna thin this line out a little bit. We're gonna break it. We're gonna thicken it up a little bit. And then we're gonna marry it to this previous line. We're gonna go over it a little bit, blend that thickness right into that line. This line, thick. We're going to go to thin, and we're gonna go thick. Then we're gonna, ooh, look at that, battery's low. We're gonna bloop this. We're gonna put a little flag on here. Bam, like that. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? How you doing, brother? You could very well get in it, and anime. American anime is now a possibility. Yeah, dude. Totally. All right. Boom. Okay. Let's just finish this figure here. All right, we need a thin, delicate line. Little Wonder Island, nice. I'm gonna put a bloop. Curve that around like that. This is another edge, so it needs to be thicker. This is the underside of this shin guard. This is a metal bracket that's essentially holding this belt, or not belt, but this strap that's keeping the shin guard on. Those are folds. That should be thicker. This should be thicker. Boom, like that. A little bit of brackets. This will be filled with black. Okay. Then I'll do that. Thick. Do this. Fill that in with black. This gets filled in with black. Then this edge is thicker. This is an edge thick. Boom, like that. Yep. This is an internal line. Thick, thin. Let's go and marry those two together because they just kind of flap. This needs to be thin to thick. Boom. This is furled up on the ground, so it needs to be thicker because there's a little bit of shadow there because it's on the ground. Kind of give a little bit of warble to that line because it is a piece of cloth and it's kind of bunching up as it's hitting the ground, which I didn't convey in my pencil, but I want to convey it now. All right, underside of the knuckle, boom, thick. We'll break that. Thick. Thick to thin, thick to thin, thick to thin, thick to thin. My holding line, the edge of the bracer. Do this contour married up there. Same thing. This needs to be thin because it's an interior line now. There's another interior line. Boom. Connect those. We'll leave that broken like that. It's fine. Okay. Thick. All right, we'll do a little pinch. I think we're done. Holy shit, we blew through that pretty quick. I think this needs to be a little thicker here. All right. Let's throw some white behind it. I'm gonna plug this bad boy in, it's gonna die on me. Boom. That panel's done. That panel's done. Panel's partially done. Panel's not even touched. So I'd say what, we're about 40% done maybe. I mean, to be fair, there's a freaking lot of detail on this small figure. Like, I mean, that's like actual size right there. So there's a ton of detail. Yeah. So it's more detail in that one figure than there is in literally in these two panels. All right. I think I'm going to call it there. A lot of fun. Had a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for coming out and visiting, hanging out, interacting in the chat, smashing that like button. Lots of likes. Appreciate you. And, you know, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I'm going to try to do more Black and Brew. It's not going to just be all my stuff. I've got a whole bunch of things that I want to ink. Not just my stuff, but I've got all kinds of stuff. I still have this page that I'm working on for Frega. Yeah, like, well, not for. Let me be clear. I am not on this book. I am not inking this book. I am doing this for fun. I don't want to misrepresent myself as the inker on this. Literally just put this on Twitter and I was like, I up-resed it and I just started noodling away. You can see the resolution is shit, but it's legitimately an inker's playground. So like I've been fucking going with this thing for, God, the amount of line work in just that top strip is just fucking insane. But I love this double page spread, and I've been goofing with it for a while. I've got this thing from Joe Catapano that he threw out on Twitter. I was goofing around with on another Black and Brew that I never finished. I do have to finish this for Mike Wilson. You know, this Thundar the Barbarian piece, which was really cool. Saw this and I'm like, I gotta ink that. And then, yeah, a couple other things here and there. So we'll be messing with that stuff. Oh, and I was messing around with this for, I saw Mike Murphy put it out there. I guess Preston drew this pin up here. I was just messing around with it. So, anyway. So, I like to do a lot of stuff for fun, you know. I just enjoy art, dude. Just enjoy it. You know, these are all the pieces that I've inked recently. Tons of them. So, this one right here. Another sim piece. Page from one of his books he's working on. Not going to show too much of it, but, you know, it's funny. When I ink sim, I get like Michael Turner / Joe Weems vibes when I see that. See, like, I don't know. It's hard to say. But, like, my line work over his structure, I don't know. I like the vibe of it. It feels really 90s image style. So, anyway. All right, I'm lollygagging enough. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. If you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And I will try to do more of these throughout the week. Black and Brew, Beer Edition, and Coffee Edition. Saturday morning is Coffee Edition, if I get up. And then Beer Edition is throughout the week. And I'm going to try to do more. So thanks, Felix. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. And I'll see you next time.